Oh, I'm on there twice, CJ. I need to mute that one. I muted you again because somehow I'm on your screen.
Yes. There you go.
Listen, you have some crazy magic, CJ. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it looks like some folks are joining. We are thrilled to have you here. We'll give everybody a minute. My clock says 5:59, so I don't want to leave anyone out. Miss Payne. Listen, CJ's got some crazy magic in here. No, it was me. Like I was showing up on his name.
It was the screen recording.
Oh.
Magic happens. Just magic.
I know you do have a lot of magic. I got my tea here ready. So I hope you all are ready because this is not decaffeinated tea. So I am ready to help tonight. Hopefully this is helpful for everyone. Let's see who else here. Miss Fair, you're here. So if this is not helpful, Miss Fair, you gotta like call a timeout on me and redirect me. Hopefully this is helpful. I've tried to pick some parents' brains and see what would be helpful.
And Michelle?
So I thought I'd already shared my screen.
CJ to Michelle.
We're gonna share that screen. Uh-oh. I gotta drag it down, don't I?
That's your right screen. Let's share.
Yeah, I need it down here though. So I'm not like looking in the air at them, right?
You have to change your shared screen.
I do.
Mm-hmm. We see your right monitor.
Like, where did I even go? You see this one?
Yes. It's on your right monitor.
Yep. Oh, I see it now. Sorry.
There you go.
So what do I need to click?
Yeah, click there.
I mean, how after a year do I not know what the heck?
There you go, and then share.
Oh, why do I have so much stuff? Okay.
All right, now we should be seeing the bottom window.
We are.
Yes.
Your PowerPoint's not up.
You just have to bring the PowerPoint up on your screen.
Where did my PowerPoint go? Here's my PowerPoint.
Yes. There we go.
Is that it?
Yes,
Yep.
you're right. Now you gotta present.
We're there now.
Oh, friend.
All right, back to what we were doing before. Okay, so we have our layout here. You can see it's a pretty crudely drawn box, but we have our measurements. So we're going to go into Fusion 360. And right now we're just going to start. So we go to our design page, and this is what you should see when you start Fusion 360. I'm actually going to put my tablet away because I will not need it anymore. So in Fusion 360, we have all these tools across the top, and we'll slowly get to them. But the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create a sketch. So if you click the Create Sketch button, and you will see your sketches appear down here. So we can go to Sketch. And the first thing we're going to do, let's go ahead and delete that one. We're going to start Create Sketch, and it's going to ask you what plane do you want to create the sketch on. So if you remember, we talked about the different views. So this is Fusion 360 giving you those different views. So you have the right view, front view, top view. So you have all these different views. And this is exactly what we talked about before, which is you're designing on a particular plane. So the first thing I like to do is I like to design with the bottom first. So I start at the bottom and I work my way up. But inside Fusion 360, we can create what they call parameters. And a parameter is essentially a variable measurement that you can change at any time. So it supports creating different names. So if you remember, with our design, and I'm going to go back to that real fast. So our design, we had the total width or length was 12 inches. Our material was a half an inch, and we had to fit these items in here, right? So this inner side was 7.5. This height was a minimum of 5.5. And then we have all these other things here, right? So we're going to go into Fusion and we're going to make some parameters. You can see that I have my mat depth. That's my material depth or thickness is a half an inch. I already set my inside length to be 12 inches. I set my outer length to be my inside length plus my mat. So really, if I want my inside length to be 11 inches, and let's just actually, I'm just going to start from scratch here just so you can see. So let's look at the measurements we need. We definitely need our material depth. And what it's asking for is the name of the variable, the unit, so you can do different units. So we're doing everything in inches, and enter your expression. So what is the measurement? So it's going to be a half an inch. So we're just going to go through real quickly, do all the measurements here. So I know the inside of my material is going to be 11 inches. So let's go inside. It'll be 11 inches. And we're going to come back over here. So we know the inside material here is going to be 5.5. So let's do inside height. 5.5. And it's very useful to keep names that make sense to you. You don't have to use my naming convention. It's just what makes sense to me. So, and then we know our width. We're going to do our inside width is going to be 7.5. So, side 7.5. So you can see now I have my 3 inside dimensions, my inside length, inside height, inside width, right? So we also have our material depth. So looking at this measurement here, I know that my outer length is my inside length plus the material of the left side plus the material of the right side. So if I come into Fusion and I say outside length, now it's going to ask me what is my outside length. So I know I want it to be my inside length, and you can see it pops up automatically with existing variables. I enter, and then I'm going to plus, and then I know it's my material depth times 2 because we have the left side and the right side. So I want it to be my inside length plus my material depth times 2 and come to a value of 12, which is exactly what we expect because 11 here, 11.5, 12. So we're going to do the same thing. 5.5, half an inch. So our height should be 6. So I just hit the plot here. Outside. Let's see what I do. So we have the outside. So with length, we have outside height. I know I spelled that wrong, but you know what? I'm just going to go with it. So we're going to do inside height plus 2 times material. Because once again, we want the space inside is our inside height. So we need our side, our outside height side, to be high enough that we can have the bottom and the top and still have that 5.5 space in there. And then we're going to do, so we did height, we did length, now we're going to do width. So our inside width is 7.5. That's 7.5, so we're going to do the same thing right there and right there. We're going to do outer. All right, so we're just going to do inner width plus 2 times net depth. And we can see it comes out to 8.5. Now we have some additional measurements here, which is this area right here, which we didn't talk too much about. So I know, actually we did talk about it, it's right here. So we know that this overall height is supposed to be 11 inches, right? So we're going to make another variable here so we can adjust whatever this steeple, I guess we'll call it a steeple percentage is. So I'm going to come over here and we're just going to go handle height, and that was our handle height was 4.5 inches. Okay, we talked about our hole or our dowel rod, our handle, our carrying handle. That's actually going to be 1 inch from the top, and the carrying handle itself is going to be 1 inch in diameter. So let's go ahead, let's add I'm going to call this my dowel. Let's call it, I don't know, rod offset. So it's going to be, I'm offsetting the rod hole 1 inch from the top. And then let's add rod diameter. So, or radius. Let's go radius. Because if I remember correctly, Fusion does everything, all circles by, no, it does it by diameter. So we are going to do diameter. That's a 1 inch diameter. So right now you can see we have several parameters here. And as we start doing the design, I'm going to show you how we actually use them and why they are very important and useful. So now we are looking at the bottom, and you can see because we're looking down from the top. We're looking straight down at the object. All right, and we have a view that we know it should look like when we're looking at it from the top, right? So we notice this should be 12, this should be 8.5, that should be 7.5. So we're going to go ahead and we are going to come in here and we're going to draw a box. 2-point rectangle. And you see here, you can see those measurements are changing as I move this around. So we can go outer, length. And then we're going to do outer, width. So when I zoom out here, you can see it's already created a box that's 8.5 and 12. Why are parameters important and helpful? If we wanted to change, but at the end of the day, we came back and we were told, oh, instead of making it 11 inches wide, we want to make it 9 inches wide or long. If I hit 9, you see how it automatically changes from 12 inches to 9, because this outside length here is my inside length, which is this one, plus the material width times 2. So let's say it is 11, but instead of using a 1/2 inch material, let's say we got 1/4 inch material. You see how everything changed? It went from 12 inches to 11.5. Went from 8 inches here to I can put it back up to 1/2, and you see it made all those changes. That's why variables are very, very helpful, because it makes your life very easy, especially when you start changing items. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to factor in our material width, right? So we are going to come here and we are going to offset this material. So an offset, you can see how it creates a smaller box. And we're just going to offset it by material depth. And you see how it made it larger? If I put a negative in there, it makes it smaller. So now you can see that this offset is now a 1/2 inch all the way around. And this already is our bottom. Okay, so we're going to click Finish Sketch. And you see now we turn it and it's just a flat plane, right? We're going to create a new sketch and we're going to do the side, right? Side seems very simple. We're just going to do literally again a box, right? And it is the outer width, outside length. Should have really named these uniform. Outside height. Now you can see. Very, very simple. I already have my sides down, right? Now, remember the material of the side here. Go back to this. The way we have it is this outside is one piece, and then we have a piece inside here, and then the outer piece. So we are going to offset this. I'm going to take a sketch dimension here. Nope, that's not what I want to do. Draw another box. I'm going to draw a line. So we're going to draw that line right down here. Because we're going to draw a new box. Because remember, our material width is here, right? And then we're going to do inside width. Oh, inside length. There we go. So now, whatever we change this material with, it's going to affect everything else. All right. Very, very simple. If I actually go back to my parameters here and I change my 11 to 9, watch how all of this shrinks, but it still stays in the appropriate proportion. I change this to 2.5, everything still changed to the correct proportion. That's why variables are so helpful, because it saves you a lot of work when you have to make changes. All right, so we are done with that. We have, this is really what our side box will look like. Okay. Do one more. And we can see by, I'm selecting the actual plane I want to do. So now we have to do the back side of it. We're going to do the same thing. Point here. And then I am going to go to outer width. Outer height. There we go. You can see my width and my height are here. So if I turn it, you can see now we have our box. All right. Now this is all, it's going to be one piece. I don't have to offset the inside to factor in for material, because there is no inner material on this. It's just going to be one piece. All right. So the next thing we're going to do, I'm actually going to draw a line from here to here. And I'm going to say that this is my outer width divided by 2. So it supports, Fusion supports functions, right? So I can go now, and then this is my height, so we can go handle height. So you can do it this way. So now this line is attached, or we have these constraints here. So constraints lock objects to other places. So you can see how we have all these objects. So we can constrain an object to the midpoint of another object. So I want to take this object. You can see how I can constrain it to the middle there. So I can take this midpoint, that one. So now, no matter what happens with this line, whenever this line changes, this line will stay symmetrical to it, or will stay in the middle of it. So next thing we're going to do is we have our height. So now we want to make that kind of rounded edge that we were talking about. We're going to come over here. I'm going to make this concave. And so I have this concave piece right here. All right, so what I want to do is I want to make sure that this stays kind of connected to this piece right here. I don't want, as this moves up and down, I don't want this dot to stay in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and constrain it. We're going to go collinear, so we're going to make that one and that one collinear. So hopefully, if we did it right. And always remember, a lot of this is always trial and error. Always a lot of trial and error. Make this 6. Nope, that did not work the way I wanted. You can see even by making those small changes. So it is not collinear like I wanted. There we go. That should make the plane stay together. So let's try this again. Come in here, make that 6. Oh, there we go. That's exactly what we want. So you can see that curve stays there. So if I were to make this 3, that curve still stays relatively well attached. So we're going to go back up to 4.5. All right. And now I want this to be exactly the same over there. I'm going to take this and we're going to literally just mirror it. So the objects are mirrored. Look my mirror line right there, and you can see now they are mirrored. So when one changes, they both change. If I go, let's make this 6. 4.5. There you go. All right. So now we have our oops. To be honest, I'm kind of not happy where this kind of ended up. So we're going to redo this line a little bit. I just Control Z to undo. So now we have our midpoint here. Let's go concave again. Let me make sure I'm looking dead out of here. That way we don't have some weird angles going on. Yeah. About what we want to do right there. Just like before, we're just going to do this horizontal and vertical. So I'm going to take that, and now those two lines are always going to be the same. We do what we did before. We hit escape to unselect. Select that line, mirror. Select my mirror line. That's my mirror line. Hit OK. Now we have a nice kind of flattened arc. We're going to do our circle here. And then this is going to be our rod diameter. You can see here I made a sketch dimension. Notice I click the first dot, click the second dot, click sketch, and now I can set my rod offset, which is now 1 inch. So if I come back over to my modify here, it's not moving copy. I want to change my parameters. So if I change my rod offset to 2 inches, you see it moves down 2 inches. If I want to change it to 0.25, you can see it moves up there. If I change it to 1, there. Probably 1.5. Maybe a little bit. I'll make this. It's 1.5. Now, I am thinking I have a box that is 5 inches and a 7.5. But I have this center bar here. I have to have enough space to possibly get this box in and out. How are we going to get the box in and out? That is a very good question. So we'll probably have to make this a lot taller so that it can come in and out. That makes sense, right? So yeah, let's go ahead. Change this height to 6. Let's change that height from 6. That means we have what? 5.5 inches. And then we will make this 1. So now we have from here to there. So from here to here is 5. So we have 4.5 inches. Hopefully that's enough to slide that box through. This is only 5 high. Go 6.5. Alright. Alright, so we've sketched all our dimensions, right? So we have all these different guys here, right? We have this, we have this, we have this, we have the bottom, we have this side piece here. We're all set. Now we're going to go from sketching that to we're going to start extruding surfaces. So extruding is taking an object right here, and we're going to put our dimension, which is mat depth, and you can see an object is created. This is our side, and we're just going to hit OK. And that body shows up right here, so we just make this left side. Alright, and then we can just actually duplicate it. Which by copy and move. And you're saying create copy. We're just going to take this bar, move it there. Now how far does it have to go? Inside width plus material depth. See how we did that? It was material, so it moved over the inside, and then we had to go just a little bit farther from material depth. Next object to make is this. Okay. So now we're going to extrude it. So now you'll notice this operation says join. what that means is it's saying this piece that you're extruding is now touching other objects. Do you want it to connect all the objects? Do you want it to cut the objects? Do you want to intersect, or do you just want a new body? For what we're doing now, we're just going to do a new body. So this way, you can see we have our left side. We make that our right side. We call this front handle. Right. Now we have a hole, right? Now when we put this rod in, yes. Now we're gonna, you notice that our sketch went away? It's hidden. So you see these eyes here? You click that to unhide it. And now we're gonna want the rod to go in, but we don't want the rod to fall out of the hole. So we're gonna click this area here. We're gonna extrude it, but I am only gonna extrude it the material depth, divide it, because I don't want to do the whole thing, by 2.5. Oops. Actually, I want to multiply it by 0.25. So that will give me a quarter of the depth. And if you notice, the operation was set to join, so now it is just all one object. So we have a front handle. Let's go ahead and move it. Hit M for move. Create a copy. And we're just going to slide it right over here. Once again, I can do not material, inner width. Oh, nope, not inner width. Inner length plus material depth. So why are we using these functions instead of just writing the numbers? By using functions, if we come over here and we modify a parameter, such as inside length, if we go from 11 to 9, it moves mostly everything. I don't know why I didn't move that one. But even so, it would just be a small modification to move it inside. So we're going to extrude this. E for extrude. Material depth. We want to go up. And we accidentally joined it. So we're going to hit Z. Extrude again. Material depth. You see it says join, so we're going to do new body. So now we have bottom. Do right handle here. Now you notice that the hole for the handle is completely on the wrong side. Right, that does not help us. So we have a couple options. We can fiddle around with this, get the hole reversed, or we can just rotate it. So I hit M for move, which also has a rotate feature. If you look down here, you'll see that you have all your different planes. I can do this. I can turn it this way. I can also turn it this way, which is what we want to do, right? We want to swing it around. Now we can swing it around and then move it back into place, or we come over here and we're going to set our pivot point. You see how when we set the pivot point, it kind of goes, what do you want to pivot on? So we're going to pivot on the center of the object. Select the body. Let the pivot. Hit OK. Now the pivot's set. Rotate 180 and here we go. Now that that's rotated, we can actually make our sketch go away. So we have the bottom, and then we talked about doing the top, right? So this is a box that's supposed to stay closed. So if we just put a piece of wood on top of here, right, the wood can just fall right out. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a small ledge on both of these pieces here. So the ledge is going to be done by, I'm just going to go to create a box. Create a box on this plane. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do inside length. I'm going to do material depth divided by 2. We're going to do a height of material depth. So now I have a box here. So now we can we're going to use this to make cutouts of our wood here. I'm going to go to modify, and we're going to align. So it's going to ask you from where. So we want to go from here. It's asking where you want to align it to. So I want to align it there. And now you notice it's aligned on those 2 axes. Next thing is we're going to do a combine. Because with our combine, we have our join, cut, or intersect. So we're going to cut. So what do we want to cut? Well, I want to cut this guy right here. What do I want to use to cut? I want to use this cut. And it says keep the tool. So when this is checked, after I do the cut, I will still have my object. If I keep this unchecked, then the tool goes away. So for our purposes, we'll keep the tool. And then once I move it, so we're going to do a line again. So I want to cut the other side, cut that box there, align it here, and then you notice that this cut is here. See? All right. We're going to do this. We're going to modify. We're going to combine. What do I want to cut? Don't want to use as a tool. And let's just keep it just to stay on the safe side in case I need to use it again. But now I have my lovely cutout here. All right. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to create one more box. Because the box is going to be laying flat like that, we're going to select that plane. So what's the length going to be? It's going to be the inner length. And then the inner width. But that's going to be short, right? Plus material depth. So why is it just material depth and not material depth 2? Times 2. It's a very simple answer. The answer is we cut out half the material width here and half the material width there. So by cutting out half and half, you get math, you get a whole one. When we created it, we did not do the material width. Let's do that again. Create a point here, really doesn't matter where. We go inner length, inner width, so right here is the height. So it's asking the height again. So we can do material depth. We don't want to cut. We want a new body. Hit OK, and we can see our bodies down there. And we want to modify to align. So we want to modify from where? See, here's a cool tool. You can hit, kind of make things disappear. There, and then where do we want to go to? Oops. We want to go to there. Oh. We want to select this body. We want to select here on that body. We want that body to go there. Oops. No, we want that body to actually go here. There we go. And that's right, we did not account for the gap in the inserts. We did not. Let's just go ahead. We can undo all that. So I'm just doing Control Z till the box is gone. Let's try this one more time. Let's see if we can get it right. So we got inner length, inner width plus material depth, material depth. We're going to do new body. Now we're going to align it. So we're going to take that point. We want, oh, did I? Oh no. We went too far. We went too far, my friends. We went too far. Alright, so there's another way we can do this. So there's a top. So as we said, modify, align. I'll make these disappear real fast so I can get to this point here. At that point. Oops. Nope, that didn't work. Like I said, sometimes it's a lot of just trial and error to get it to do what you want it to do. So I want to align that point. To this point right here. So I'm trying to, come on. You see how that white box, all right, that's fine. That's fine. We're just gonna try it again. All right, let's align it. That point. That point. That did not work. Sometimes you just fail. But you just keep on moving. All right, so let's get the right point, that point. Oh, what just happened? Okay. Oh, so many different ways to do this. I don't know why I'm spending my time doing it the wrong way. All right. Basically, we just want to move this so it's halfway. And why is it rotating? There we go. Just switch the angle. There we go. So before I accidentally removed my cut piece, you could see how we have this here. All right. So we're going to do what we did before. We're actually going to do a combine. Oops, wrong button. Modify, combine. So I want to take this, take that, cut, keep my tool. So now if I make this invisible, you'll notice that it's cut because I kept the tool still here. We're going to do the same thing over there. We're going to do, oops. So I'm going to take my target, it's my target, my tool, cut, hit OK. Top disappear, and you can see that cut is there. Now, part of the plan is to use a magnet underneath here. So we're going to actually just trim this down just a little bit. Take the by, we're going to move it. So we're going to move it. Move it. Two millimeters. You notice I can change my measurement here. I'm not using inches, I'm using millimeters. Actually 3 millimeters. Then we're just going to do the same thing again. I'm just going to find my target, my tool, keep the tool, cut, combine, rotate here, tool, cut. And now I'm just going to take my top, I'm just going to align it back. That, part of this, boom. There we go. Now I don't have the dowel in here because we are going to just purchase it. So there's no real reason to model it unless we just want to do it for looks. Essentially that's it. Now you can see through here you can also have what we call a section analysis. So with the section analysis you can actually see inside your model. So you can see we have room for the magnet in there, because that's going to be the magnet space. And then you can also measure between different points. So if I want to measure like this is 5.5 inches. So you can see you have different measurements here. And then you just reset. 7.5 inches. You can see different points, like from there, there's 8. This whole thing is 1 because it is 1 inch thick. You can see the length is 6.5. There's a 1/2 inch there. We can measure from bottom here to the top there. So it's a total of 13 inches. A little bit bigger than what was expected, but that should give us room to get that in and out as needed. Otherwise, we don't really have a way to get them in or out. Alright, so we're going to stop it there, and then we're going to pick up on how to actually get it into the CNC machine. If you have any questions, just reach out. Yes. 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 What's up? When you say bugged out, Testing, 1, 2. Okay, here we go. Testing, 1, 2. Okay.
Oh,
Here we
my
go. Audio's feeding back. Testing, 1, 2. Okay.
oh,
Here we
my
go. Audio's feeding back. Testing, 1, 2. Because I'm
Oh.
listening to the stream. Lovely. That is awesome. Oh. Go, not doing it right. Oh. Alright, so let's set this up. So what is... $37 inches. There's 7 inches. 18 inches. So I come here. I'm just going to rotate this. All right. Oh. Why are these guys 2 different sizes? Oh. One's the top, one's the bottom. Okay. That makes sense. $30 by $20. 25 by 30. Okay, perfect. Alright. Like I said, I doubt I will get to it today, but probably Monday or Tuesday I should have something for you. Alright, have a good day. Yeah, how can I help you?